What do you think is the most important gear that you should carry when you're out canoeing? Well, today on Snow Walker Outdoors, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the most critical gear that you need to safely enjoy your canoe cruise. Today on Snow Walker Outdoors. Hey everyone, Brian from Snow Walker Outdoors. Today I wanted to go over, some critical pieces of gear that you should take while you're canoeing. Obviously they're just all suggestions on my part for you. You can choose to use them or not use them. It doesn't bother me in the least either way that you go. I use them every single time because I like to come back safe, or I like to try to mitigate as many things as possible so that I come back safe, or at least I make the attempt to come back safe. So without any further ado, the first and foremost on any trip when you're on the water is a PFD. So right here we would have something like this. Okay, Coast Guard approved PFD. The Canadians have their own standards that they go by, but here in the States we use the US Coast Guard. Coast Guard approved PFD. The next thing that we want to get into is we want to get into a sound and sight device that we have out there to alert people to our presence while we're out there, maybe low light or something of that nature. So on the PFD itself, we have a Fox 40 whistle, which you see right here, and that can be heard for pretty far distances. They're the best whistles that are out there as far as I'm concerned. Now another thing that we have is you can add your headlamp to that as well. That'll come in handy. We have some glow sticks in our thwart bag. The other things that we do have is the seats that I make, the canoe seats that I make. They're orange for a specific reason, and they're open so that you can put it over the top of the paddle and you can use it to alert somebody. Even if they can't hear you, they may be able to see you. So that's another good example of what we can use that seat for. And if you want one, get in touch with me. Next thing we want to talk about is we want to talk about our painter lines. Now our painter lines are attached to the grab handles in the bow and in the stern. They are usually the length of the canoe plus half that. They're good for grab lines, they're good for tow lines, they're also good for tying them off on your truck or your vehicle while you are actually traveling. Okay, your baler and your sponge. Why do we have these two items? Very simply, if our canoe gets swamped, we use the baler to move lots and lots of water out of the canoe as soon as possible. Your sponge is to mop up anything that's just left over from you getting in and out of the canoe. Remember, and we'll talk about this when we do a loading video, you always want to do a wet entry and a wet exit in your canoe. You don't want the canoe sitting on the land or on rocks or something of that nature when you're loading and when you're unloading, or even when you're stepping into the canoe or stepping out of the canoe. You get scratches on the bottom. That's how we prevent scratches. Your canoe will thank you, and it just is what it is. So you just mop everything up with this and you're good to go. And again, this is for large volumes of water. So I use a double-bladed kayak paddle for when I want to actually move along the water and get from place to place. Maybe I'm trying to get a couple ponds in before I actually stop and do something, have something to eat, or I'm just putting miles on. And that's all fine and well. If something happens to that paddle though, it's not like I have two paddles, and they're really kind of crappy if you try to use one kayak paddle just because of the design. So we always carry a second paddle for propulsion. If something should happen to our primary paddle, we have a backup and we can still get to where we're going and we don't have to worry about it. So the next thing would be is a throw rope. And throw rope comes in handy when you're talking about at distance, but you need to make time. All right, you may not be able to close the gap enough to use one of your painters or get them to the side of your canoe, so you use a throw rope. Okay, And once again, you can actually use this to help tow them in as well. It's not just for a rescue. You could, just help them along, tie it off to their canoe, and you can help them and assist them to get where they're going. So you need a throw rope. I tuck this one in right next to the seat as I'm sitting down. In navigation, we have a map case, we have a compass. Alright, this is actually one of two compasses. I'll put this on my wrist. I have one that's in the thwart bag as well. And this, I can chart where I'm going, keep track of things, and I know where I am for the most part. I know where I started, I know where I'm ending, I know where I'm going, plotting out the course as I go along the way. Don't rely on your phone. If something should happen to your phone, if the battery goes dead, if it gets soaked in water, say you fall in, you're taking a picture and you fall overboard, I don't know, whatever. Something happens to that, those online and offline maps that you have in your phone aren't going to do you shit. Okay, have a paper map, know how to read a compass, know how to read a map, and yeah, touched a little bit upon the headlamp, but always make sure that you have a headlamp. All right, when I start to see the sun start to get a little bit low in the sky, always put this on. I put this around my neck. I know where it is. I get it out and I have it ready. So we always have our headlamp. We'll have our first aid kit. We have that in our thwart bag as well. Very simply, we can take care of bumps, bruises, scrapes, cuts, sprains, and a host of other things, and some more severe things as well. I should have lumped this back into the painters, but this webbing, the webbing comes in handy too, because you can use this, well, you can use it as a throw line if you need to. You can use it to tie off for towing as well. But this actually helps you get back into the canoe a little bit easier if you're alone and you have to do a solo self-rescue. So you would actually take this, and I don't want to give it too much away because I actually want to try to do that this year. I want to film it, but it's tough. So you're going to take this, you're going to wrap it around a thwart, you go underneath the canoe, you come back on the other side of the thwart, and you let it hang down into the water. You create a loop, and then you can step in that loop to help you get back up into the canoe. And that's what your webbing is for. Next thing I want to talk about is communications. So in the Adirondacks and up in Maine, there's a lot of places where you're not going to have any cell service whatsoever. So you may have to either one, rely on a satellite phone, or two, you may have to rely on some type of PLB, Personal Locator Beacon. And so I run with a Spot right now. This is a Spot 4, it's 4th generation. I had a 3. I upgraded to 4. Your phone isn't necessarily always going to work, but at least this gives you peace of mind that if you get to a location and you can't call out, you can at least let them know that you're safe in camp. The other thing is too, I've been out in the middle of the Adirondacks and not seen another person for 10 to 12 hours while paddling. So, it's up to me to make sure that myself is safe. So in case there's an emergency, that's why there's an SOS button here. There's two different buttons. There's an SOS where you need immediate emergency help right now, or there's another one that lets your people know that, hey, listen, I'm in a jam, I need help. It's not a medical emergency. I'm not in any threat of dying at this very moment, but you can let them know, and then they can get in touch with the authorities and where you are via the location, because every time the message goes out, it sends your location to your party, your competent authority. So don't always rely on your phone, but this at least will give you a little bit more peace of mind. And I put this right here when it's on my PFD. So last but not least, actually get a dry bag or a dry box that's readily accessible for you, while you're canoeing and paddling. I put my phone and my keys right here. I can see everything. I can see the phone. This floats, and I can attach it to the side of the canoe, and I know where it is. So this will be a lifesaver if you really need to take care of your phone and whatnot. So there you go. Anyway, that's it. I hope you liked the video. If you did, click the subscribe button. hit the bell for notifications. Granted, it wasn't a sexy video, but it does show you the need for the most critical pieces of gear to help keep you safe, to mitigate certain circumstances, and these are the things that I find to be the most beneficial for you while you're out there to keep you safe. So Brian from Snow Walker Outdoors, thanks for your views and your comments. See you on the next one, and yeah, have a good day.